Good afternoon. I'm David Anderson. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine here at Dalhousie, and it really is a great pleasure to welcome everyone to the 2021 Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association Alumni Recognition Awards ceremony. Thank you all for being here. Before we begin, I would like to recognize that Dalhousie University is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. We are all treaty people. We also recognize the histories, contributions, and legacies of the African Nova Scotian people who have been here for over 400 years. I'm very pleased to be here today in my dual role as a proud Dalhousie Medical Alumnus and also as Dean of the Medical School. We're so proud of everything that our alumni have accomplished, whether they've made national contributions to clinical practice, shown a strong level of commitment to family medicine, maintained an exceptional lifelong career, or have demonstrated high quality commitment and care within the first couple years of their career. Our alumni are consistently working to make an impact in our communities and in our health system. Before we begin this afternoon's award presentations, I would like to welcome Dr. Deep Saini, the President and Vice Chancellor of Dalhousie University, to provide remarks.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us at this year's Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association Award ceremony. As medical alumni, you make meaningful impacts through clinical care, educational activities, volunteerism, and philanthropy. We are delighted to celebrate your years of hard work and accomplishments that span medical school, residency, and beyond. Throughout the pandemic, Dalhousie Medical School alumni have played pivotal roles in combating COVID-19. From working on the front lines to providing critical public health advice, our graduates have stepped up to keep Canadians healthy and safe. This is particularly evident in this year's Alumnus of the Year award, which for the first time ever is being co-presented to 4 individuals, all of whom are provincial chief medical officers of health. And this is just one example of the vital roles our graduates are playing at the national level. No matter what stage of your career you are at, your dedication to the communities you serve is valued. Thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do. Congratulations to this year's award recipients. We are so proud that you are part of our Dalhousie community. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Saini. And for nearly 2 years, the ways in which we've celebrated and engaged with our alumni have looked much different than in years past. Today's awards are a perfect example of how meeting in this virtual environment has allowed us to celebrate and recognize the accomplishments of our medical alumni across the country. And while we've made every effort to stay connected, there's a special energy and excitement when we can all come together in the same space. And this is why I'm thrilled to announce that, COVID permitting, today's recipients are also going to be recognized on stage at the Dalhousie Medicine Gala, which is scheduled to take place on March 26, 2022 at the Halifax Convention Center. As Dr. Saini alluded, across the country, Dalhousie Medical School alumni are making meaningful and significant impacts in the communities they serve. With so many people accomplishing great things in the medical field, we feel that it's important to recognize those that are making an impact on the lives of others. And that's what this afternoon's award ceremony is all about. So thank you very much, everyone. And it's now my great pleasure to call upon Dr. Kathy O'Brien, the President of the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association, to begin today's awards presentations. Thank you, Dr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Dean Anderson, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kathy O'Brien, President of the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association. I want to welcome you all to our second annual virtual awards, and thank you so much for taking your time to be with us to honor and recognize the accomplishments of our distinguished alumni. As the current DMAA President, it is truly a privilege to have the opportunity to celebrate some of the most deserving members of our alumni community. I'm so proud of the dedication, passion, and commitment of all our alumni to their patients, their communities, and to Dalhousie Medical School. Thank you all for everything you do. The first award that I'd like to introduce is our Alumnus of the Year Award. Since 1968, the Alumnus of the Year Award has recognized physicians who have made unique and international contributions to clinical practice, teaching, or research. Over the years, recipients have been internationally recognized, published, and have participated in national, professional, and academic societies. This year, and as you've heard, for the first time in DMAA's history, we are bestowing our Alumnus of the Year Award on not one, but 4 exceptional and deserving alumni. This decision is only fitting given the unprecedented events of the past year and a half and the remarkable work of our 4 honorees to keep us safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is my immense pleasure to announce that the recipients are Dr. Janice Fitzgerald, Dr. Bonnie Henry, Dr. Heather Morrison, and Dr. Jennifer Russell. Each of these 4 women have served and continue to serve as Chief Medical Officer of Health for their respective provinces. Already one of the most demanding jobs in all of healthcare, the challenges they have faced would have been unimaginable just a couple of years ago. And they have done a stellar job protecting the health and safety of Canadians during an incredibly stressful time. Throughout it all, wave after wave of the pandemic, our evolving understanding of the virus, the long hours, the intense public scrutiny, they have demonstrated a level of professionalism, determination, compassion, and understanding to which we all should aspire. To the people in the provinces, they are the face of the battle against COVID, and I, for one, marvel at their ability to be a steadfast, calming presence while under immense pressure. We are so proud of them for their courageous leadership in this great crisis of our time. And we are fortunate that each of them is able to join us today, and I would like to introduce each of them before inviting them to say a few words. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Janice Fitzgerald. A native of Trinity, Bonavista Bay, Newfoundland, Dr. Fitzgerald earned her medical degree from Memorial University and completed her family physician residency through Dalhousie University in 1996. She returned to Newfoundland and Labrador, where she spent 20 years practicing family medicine and working in long-term care facilities in the province's capital. Dr. Fitzgerald's passion for family medicine is closely tied to her interest in public health. She began working in public health policy development at the province's Department of Health and Community Services, and in 2019 was appointed Chief Medical Officer of Health for the province. Please welcome our first Alumna of the Year, Dr. Janice Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Not sure, can everyone see me?
We can see you.
Okay. Thanks so much. So I guess I'll say a few words. Sorry. I have to say I'm just back from a pediatric vaccination clinic this afternoon, which was absolutely wonderful. So much joy and excitement there today. It just has really lifted my spirits through this last few months of the pandemic. So thank you to the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association for this award. I'm really humbled and honored to be considered along with such extraordinary physicians as Heather, Jennifer, and Bonnie. I've not only learned so much from each of you, but I've found your support through the pandemic invaluable. You really all are truly wonderful humans, and your provinces and Canada are so fortunate to have you. It's really been more than a few years and more than I'd like to admit since my time at Dalhousie, and the skills I learned there have really helped me throughout my career as a family physician in emergency departments and long-term care, and now as a public health physician. So I'm so very proud of my affiliation with Dal. And I'd like to take a moment really to thank all of you who've been working so hard throughout the pandemic to help keep our population safe. I think there's been much anxiety and uncertainty, but it has come with unparalleled diligence and resiliency. And it's truly a pleasure and a privilege to work in this profession and in this community. So thank you once again. I wish you all the best as we move through what I hope is the last hurdle of the pandemic with the childhood vaccinations. So take care and stay safe. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Dr. Fitzgerald. And thanks for joining us today with your busy schedule. Our second alumna of the year is Dr. Bonnie Henry. Born in Fredericton and raised in Charlottetown, Dr. Henry is a graduate of the MD class of 1990. Her vast experience in public health, preventative medicine, and global pandemics has extended throughout her career. As Provincial Health Officer for British Columbia, she has led the province's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and drug overdose emergency. She previously served as the Deputy Provincial Health Officer for 3 years and was the Interim Provincial Executive Medical Director of the BC Centre for Disease Control. Prior to that, she was the Associate Medical Officer of Health for Toronto Public Health, where she was responsible for the Emergency Services Unit and the Communicable Disease Liaison Unit, and was the operational lead in the response to the SARS outbreak. She has also worked internationally, including with the WHO UNICEF Polio Eradication Program in Pakistan and with the World Health Organization to control the Ebola outbreak in Uganda. Somehow, she has also found time to write a book with her sister Lynn called Be Calm, Be Safe, 4 Weeks That Shaped a Pandemic, which was released earlier this year and which you can read all about in the next issue of our box, arriving in your mailbox in or your inbox in just a few days. So I'd like to welcome our alumna of the year, Dr. Henry, although I'm just getting a message from Barrett, and we're wondering whether or not she has been able to join us. I know it's very difficult in these busy times, so. Dr. Henry, are you with us? I guess she must have had to step away. We thought she was going to be joining us, but I know in these times, I think the schedule is probably very tight. So just I'd like to wish her all the best and congratulations. Our third alumna of the year is Dr. Heather Morrison. A native of Prince Edward Island, Dr. Morrison is an extraordinary person by any standard. As PEI's first female Rhodes Scholar, she completed both a master's and a doctorate degree at the University of Oxford in Comparative Social Research and Social Policy with a thesis dissertation in Health Policy Decision-Making. She returned to Canada for medicine training, completing her MD at Dal in 1999, followed by residency training in community medicine at the University of Toronto. She was appointed Chief Health Officer for Prince Edward Island in July 2007 and has served in a variety of leadership roles, including Chair of the Canadian Council of Chief Medical Officers of Health, Prince Edward Island's representative on the Public Health Network Council of Canada, and the island's representative on the National Special Advisory Committee in H1N1 and on the epidemic of opioid overdoses. Please welcome Alumna of the Year, Dr. Heather Morrison. Dr. Morrison.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I know that I had been in touch with Dr. Henry earlier this week, so she was definitely planning on being here. I'm sure she'll send her regrets. So first, I think Dr. Fitzgerald said it very well. I feel both humbled and honored to be accepting this recognition along with such wonderful colleagues and friends who are leading their provinces and the country through this pandemic. And really, the other reaction I had when I first heard was that I'm really accepting this on behalf of a deserving team of people I work with, and on behalf of so many Islanders who've managed so well throughout this pandemic and really continue to do so. My first ties to Dalhousie were growing up listening to stories of my father, a proud King's College Dalhousie graduate, and also my mother, who was a Dalhousie graduate, not in the medical faculty, but at Dalhousie, and they met during that time. And I also was looking back and have a great appreciation for the long history of Dal Medical School and really being a trailblazer, having accepted, I believe, the first female student in 1894, soon after the school was established. And I know that people in the today would know that those details better than I would. I certainly have wonderful memories of my time at Dalhousie. And I've had that wonderful opportunity really of working with Dalhousie colleagues here that are recognized today, but many other colleagues over the years. And I think about the unique experiences really that we had and the faculty and staff at the time. And it was more than just the learning, I think, that took place while I was at Dalhousie, but it's the relationships which have influenced and I think shape who we are and what we do, and I see that with the relationships we have with Drs. Fitzgerald, Henry, and Russell. I think we, like all of us as physicians, we enter this profession to make a difference, to help people, and I think in the last couple of years, in this role, trying to serve people in PI, it's really been trying to make a difference in the lives of Islanders, to protect them, but it has been quite an experience. It has been stressful. I think you mentioned that during this pandemic, and I think there's probably three things that I thought about that really were the foundation, probably laid during some of our initial medical training at Dalhousie, that I thought about as part of the pandemic. Communication being one of those areas. The value of the messaging and the importance of connecting with people, the impact of misinformation, and I mean, we think about that with our patients, and in this pandemic, we've been thinking about it so much more broadly, really at family, community, provincial level. And then the second thing was really around partnerships. The big part of our Dalhousie medical training, and how key those partnerships have been in the last couple of years, and intersecting really as physicians, as public health physicians, with so many other parts of our society. And I think I heard you mention evolving, how the pandemic has evolved, but really the third thing I thought about was how important it has been to be flexible and nimble. And I think we learned that as well during our training, how we have to adapt. It's very humbling to know how things evolve, how science changes, and how you have to make decisions sometimes with incomplete information. But I heard Dr. Henry say this as well, that throughout the pandemic, I know all four of us have tried to make the best decisions for the right reasons with the information we had at the time, and that's not always easy to do, but I think we've tried. So I mean, thank you to the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association and Alumni for this certainly honor, and I guess I'd also, because I have a chance to do it and I don't always have this chance, certainly wanting to thank the team around me, in terms of the public health team and partners here, including my colleagues and friends, other medical officers of health, and my family, because I'm not sure without their love and patience and kindness. I ask the public for that often, but I certainly couldn't have done it without them, and served the island during the pandemic if it hadn't been for them as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison, and congratulations on your award. We really appreciate you joining us here today because we know how busy you all are, and you know, you're all keeping us safe, and we appreciate that. So thanks so much. Our fourth Alumna of the Year is Dr. Jennifer Russell. A native of Bathurst, New Brunswick, Dr. Russell graduated from medical school at Memorial University and completed her residency in family medicine at Dalhousie University in 2001. Dr. Russell joined the Canadian Armed Forces and served as a family physician in the military for 10 years, including supporting Canada's mission in Afghanistan, followed by roles with Veteran Affairs Canada, the Noreen Richard Health Centre, and Horizon Health. For the past 7 years, Dr. Russell has demonstrated her passion for preventative health and population health as New Brunswick's Chief Medical Officer of Health. She is also a fervent advocate for the well-being of family physicians and works to ensure that they are not only taking good care of their patients, but also themselves. She is proud to champion work-life balance and mental health initiatives for family physicians across Canada. Please welcome Alumna of the Year, Dr. Jennifer Russell. Dr. Russell.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien, and thank you to everyone here today. I am so grateful, and it's very humbling to be honored in this way. I am proud to be a Dalhousie alumna and to be part of this group of exceptional women here today. I mean, the fact that you've got 4 alumni who are leading pandemic response in 4 respective provinces is quite significant, and I think it speaks to the quality of the education that we received at Dal. There's so much that I learned during my time at Dal, and I was there twice. I got an arts degree in 1992, and then my family medicine residency in 2001. So my early memories of Dal, go back to my undergrad days and playing in the Dalhousie concert band and on Saturday mornings when we used to rehearse. So the other thing I thought back on when I was thinking about what I wanted to say about my experience at Dal and how it's contributed to my career today, all of our experiences, whether they're good and bad, provide learning opportunities and growth. And I had some really great mentors during my residency, a pediatrician by the name of Dr. Krishna Swamy, family physician by the name of Dr. Ann Collins, who you would have heard of as the president of CMA, and Dr. Eric Gosna, orthopedic surgeon, as well as family physician by the name of Dr. Stephen Hart. They taught me so much about humanity, work-life balance, my own strengths and weaknesses, and how best to improve and build upon those. Bedside manner, communication, work ethic, and discipline. But I think the most important of all of the things that we're taught at Dal is the love of lifelong learning, and that can apply to all aspects of our lives. So, I definitely feel like I've continuously looked for opportunities to grow, but that doesn't preclude the unexpected and the unplanned events that then also contribute to our experience and knowledge, and the necessity of being able to use our critical thinking and problem solving skills when these unexpected and unplanned things happen, like a pandemic. I think I was really trying to think also what was the most dramatic experience during my residency that, again, shaped who I am today and on that path towards this part of my career. There was an accident when I was doing my my rural placement in Sussex, New Brunswick, a bus accident involving students who were traveling from Boston to Nova Scotia for a music festival. And it was really my first experience dealing with mass trauma and casualties. There were 4 deaths. It was very high emotion with respect to the walking wounded and dealing with parents, understanding, the transfer through ambulances and helicopter airlifting patients out. And that teachable moment, really came to light in terms of the leadership that was displayed by the emergency room staff, the physicians and senior nurses. They were so calm and so methodical in their approach. It was just incredible, again, to see this chaos unfolding in front of my young eyes as a medical professional, and understanding that, you know, we take all of those learnings, the things that we learn in peacetime or when we're not in a crisis, and we apply them in these situations. And also the aftermath with respect to the critical incident stress debriefing and the mental health of the healthcare workers who were involved in the care of all of the people who were treated at the hospital that day. Really incredible experience to draw from, again, from the perspective of the clinical and mass casualty part, but also the mental health and the well-being part. And obviously, in this pandemic, my colleagues, you know, we've all had a unique shared experience around managing risks for our population, but also managing the risks for our own well-being, including safety. You know, some of the physicians who are leading the pandemic in their provinces have had threats to their safety, and obviously that takes a toll as well. So the constant nature of the pressure really highlighted for me that, you know, all of the things that you need to do to stay well. And I think one of the other unique aspects of the Chief Medical Officers of Health in terms of our role, our frequent meetings that take place several times a week. Some of the weekend meetings would have provide some opportunity for us to share how we were coping and doing throughout the pandemic. And it was truly inspiring, the strength of these leaders. So I'm so proud to be here today and receive this honor with them. We've really, again, have this very shared, unique experience that obviously will stay with us. And again, I know that our time at Dal and all of our experiences have contributed to our success today. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you know, my team here in New Brunswick, who has been steadfast and very resilient and impressive and inspiring as well. And it's just been an incredible journey. And I know we're not through it yet, but so far it's been very rewarding and enriching, as well as challenging. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Russell, for sharing that with us, and all the best as hopefully we are coming to the end of this, and we wish you all the best and stay well. Now I'd like to introduce our next award, the Young Alumnus of the Award. The Young Alumnus of the Year. Since 2002, the Young Alumnus of the Year Award has recognized a Dalhousie Medical School graduate in the first 2 decades of their career who has made a significant contribution to Dalhousie Medical School, other medical schools, or the community. This contribution can be in clinical practice, teaching, research, or public service. I am pleased to announce that this year's recipient is Dr. Ian Epstein. Dr. Epstein graduated from Dalhousie in 2004 and joined the faculty in 2009 as a gastroenterologist in the Department of Medicine. His contributions to medical education are numerous, including chairing departmental grand rounds from 2011 to 2013, and since 2013, serving as a program director for the Internal Medicine Residency Program. Since 2019, Dr. Epstein helped launch a regional residency stream involving training in Cape Breton, and he has helped expand the number of residents in the program, introducing Competency by Design, and is chair of the Canadian Association of Internal Medicine Program Directors. Most rewardingly, he has mentored numerous residents who are now practicing across our region. He was recognized by the residents as the Stephen Kubin Outstanding Faculty Resident Choice Award winner, and in the Department of Medicine in 2019. In addition to his large clinical practice, he has stepped in as co-director of the Motility Program and as vice president of the Atlantic Association of Gastroenterology, and was recognized by the Crohn's and Colitis Canada as the Outstanding IBD Physician of the Year in 2018. Please welcome our Young Alumnus of the Year, Dr. Ian Epstein.
Thank you so much, Dr. O'Brien, for those kind words and the kind introduction. Hopefully I can be heard. Everyone can hear me?
We can hear you.
Perfect. I'll say a couple of words. I'll try to be brief because It's been wonderful hearing from so many people today, but I just did want to take a couple of minutes to thank the Alumni Association for this recognition. It's no question a very meaningful and gratifying award to win, being recognized by my own medical school Alumni Association with such prestigious winners that we've heard from already today during the pandemic. So thank you to everyone involved in this awards day today. It's especially gratifying where it's the Young Award I'm winning, so I really like that designation. Just getting in under the wire from a class of 2004, so really appreciate that with a couple of years to spare. It's also gratifying to be recognized in that dual role as a clinician and as an educator with the work that I'm proud of that you've outlined with my role as a clinician in GI, and that I'm also proud of with my role as the internal medicine program director. And speaking a little bit to that, just to know that the medical school values the work, not just of me, but of all the faculty members that dedicate so much of their time to teaching and to administration and to medical education and excellence in medical education is really great to see. I am really proud of the work I've done in that role over the last couple of years around what you commented on, some of the increased distribution we've had with that program in Cape Breton, but also building our program and presence in New Brunswick and rotations in Prince Edward Island across the region. Recently too, really proud of some of the work we're doing to pursue and enhance diversity in our CARMS match process. And we've done this all and made so many changes with competence by design and expansion of the program and changes in the CARMS match through the pandemic, while also trying to engage our residents in open discussions around wellness and burnout, while still training excellent clinicians that will win these awards in the future. And as it said in the intro statements there, helping these new grads become alumni themselves and then go off, and really gratifying to see so many of the residents I've trained in the last 6-7 years start to fill vacancies in all 3 maritime provinces, start to give back and serve the community. So I really am proud of this accomplishment and really gratifying to see it recognized today. I'll just close by thanking a few people, like the Academy Awards. I'll do my thank you list, but I promise you won't have to play the music and get me off. I also promise I won't forget to thank my family. So I'll just start first by acknowledging that this is, of course, a team effort. We all know that as alumni here ourselves, that medicine is a team work. And so on the GI front, the work across the Atlantic GI group that I'm representing is fantastic. I could name everyone. I should thank Dr. Stephen Grucci. Steve Grucci and I just stepped in to be co-directors of the GI unit here in Halifax. And without him and his support, and I think his nomination for this, I wouldn't be able to do any of this work, but all of my colleagues in GI are fantastic. On the education front, the unsung heroes often are our administrative team, and in medical education, the administrative team for the IM program are unbelievable. So Katie Barkhouse, Isha Seth, Amanda McKay, and Alicia Mason, and 2 honorable mentions to people that have moved on to other jobs, but have left a lasting legacy for Department of Medicine and Internal Medicine Education. Names many of you will know: Sophie Montry and Megan Dow. And then I have to thank the faculty. Andrew Warren has been a tremendous postgraduate dean and a tremendous help for all of us in postgrad. The dean himself, who was my department head when I first started, and then Simon Jackson was department head for a while, and Christine Short, our department head now. The Department of Medicine is a great place to work. Okay, going to close by thanking my team at home, my parents, my mom, who's a great inspiration. She started her career as an RN, finished running a family business, and my dad, who's actually alumni himself, was a class of 62, was a respirologist in Toronto and a great inspiration. My wife, class of 05, family physician here in the city, and my kids, who may be logged on, I'm not sure, but Lena, Violet, and Harris. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again. Really appreciate this honor.
Thanks very much for your comments, and congratulations on your award, and thanks for joining us today. I think you're right, it takes a village, but congratulations on your award. Our next award is the Honorary President Award, one of the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association's most prestigious awards. The Honorary President's Award is bestowed to a senior alumnus, past or present member of Faculty of Medicine, who is highly respected and whose career and service in the practice of medicine have been outstanding. This year, we are proud to name Dr. Kevin Robbins as Honorary President. Born and raised in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, Dr. Robbins completed his MD at Dal in 1974 and attended residency training in otolaryngology and general surgery at Dalhousie and otolaryngology at the University of Toronto, followed by a fellowship in head and neck oncology at the Institute of Laryngology and Otology of London, England. Having specialized as a head and neck surgeon, Dr. Robbins devoted his entire career to managing cancer patients. This included service with the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, University of California, San Diego, and the University of Tennessee. His work with the American Academy of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, and the American Head and Neck Society led to an international classification system for neck dissection, first published in 1991. At Southern Illinois University, Dr. Robbins became the executive director of its Cancer Institute, while holding the Simmons Endowed Chair of Excellence in Oncology. His career highlights include becoming president of the American Head and Neck Society and receiving research funding from the National Cancer Institute. Now living in Merritt Island, Florida, Dr. Robbins and his wife, fellow academic otolaryngologist Dr. Gail Woodson, are focused on their mission of establishing a teaching program for ENT doctors in Tanzania. Please welcome our Honorary President for 2021, Dr. Kevin Robbins.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien and Dean Anderson for holding this wonderful meeting today. I would also like to thank my nominators and the selection committee for what I consider a great honor, really, and I feel very privileged to be recognized in this way. Also, I'd like to congratulate the other awardees today. What a great collection of talented people, particularly the four ladies who helped Canada get through a lot of the COVID issues. My career took me to the United States, not that I really planned to do that, but I met an American surgeon in London and she convinced me to go back to Houston. So please forgive me for doing doing the 40 years of head and neck oncology in the US. For me, though, it's been a great experience. I loved my job. I'm now not doing active practice anymore, but looking back, I couldn't think of a more useful thing to do each day when you wake up in the morning and go to work and try to save people's lives who are being threatened by a very ugly type disease, cancer involving the head and neck. Now that I'm no longer doing that, I hate to use the word retirement because I still stay very active, and certainly a major involvement of my wife, Gail Woodson, and me is to go to Africa, to Tanzania. And we've been doing that for several years now. And during retirement, we actually have been privileged to spend several months a year in Tanzania working with a training program and helping that country develop young otolaryngologists to serve the population. When we started doing this, there were only 5 ear, nose, and throat doctors to serve 40 million people, which is crazy. Now it's expanded to about 20, and the training program is working well, and we're very satisfied with that. So again, I feel very privileged and honored to get this recognition today. I do have to warn you that this is the American Thanksgiving today, which I'm not sure if that was foremost on your minds when you scheduled this. But I have family visiting, and we have a wonderful turkey dinner coming up in about an hour. So we're all looking forward to that as a family. And please forgive me if I may not hang in to the bitter end for this event. But again, thank you so much. It truly is an honor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robbins, for joining us today on such a special family day too. And happy American Thanksgiving to you and your family. And all the best in Tanzania. It is a wonderful country. I've been there myself. So Yeah, and trying to send some sun up north here from Florida. We'd appreciate it.
We'll do that with a little warmth as well.
Thank you. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
Since 2007, the Family Physician of the Year Award has recognized a family physician who consistently makes a significant contribution to their medical practice and community and demonstrates the impact of small practice and rural physicians. The award highlights family physicians who provide extraordinary medical care, set an exceptional example in the practice of family medicine, teach medical students and residents, and advocate for the health of their community. This year, we are proud to name Dr. Michael Fleming, class of 1978, the 2021 Family Physician of the Year. A leader in his practice and community, Dr. Fleming is recognized for his dedication to patients and his relentless pursuit of advocacy of continuing professional development. He earned his medical degree from Dalhousie University in 1978. Since 1980, Dr. Fleming has practiced comprehensive family medicine in Fall River, Nova Scotia, and has been the undergraduate medical education teacher of med students. And for more than 30 years, he has enjoyed progressive career roles with the Faculty of Medicine, continuing professional development, where he served as an educational consultant, program developer, and accreditor for Dalhousie's family physician and specialist programs. Currently, Dr. Fleming is director of the family medicine programs in CPD and assistant professor with Dalhousie's Division of Medical Education. Please welcome our 2021 Family Physician of the Year, Dr. Michael Fleming. Welcome, Dr. Fleming.
Thank you very much, Kathy, and the members of the Medical Alumni Association. My first reaction when I was told that I got this award was, wow. With all the excellent, dedicated, and extraordinary family physicians that are alumni of Dal's Faculty of Medicine, it is an honor to be nominated and then chosen to be the Family Physician of the Year. I have been extremely fortunate to have had a great undergraduate medical education program at Dal, and been part of both the class of 77 and 78, all great group. I chose to do a family medicine residency at Dal because it was then, and I believe still is, one of the best family medicine programs in the country. I got a great foundation from a lot of fantastic mentors like David Gass, Richard McLaughlin, Brian Hennon, Murray Nixon, Carlisle Phillips, Curly Stills, Ed McLeod, and all the family physicians at the Moncton Medical Clinic, and a lot of my colleagues at the Woodlawn Medical Clinic in Dartmouth. That was the beginning, but I have had extremely fortunate to have practiced and learned from an excellent, dedicated group of family physicians in my practice in Fall River, and my colleagues in Bedford and Lower Sackville as well. It has been exciting and a privilege to have practiced family medicine over the last 41 years. Parallel, right after I started practice, I also had the extraordinary good fortune to have been hired to do some part-time continuing medical education work for the Faculty of Medicine by Dr. Wayne Putnam in 1981, and have been privileged to work with extraordinary staff at continuing professional development over the years, and under the leadership of Wayne Putnam, Dave McLean, Don Langell, Jean Gray, Doug Sinclair, Connie LeBlanc, and now Steve Miller. Of course, it goes without saying that none of this is possible without the support at home, and I appreciate the ongoing support of my wife Isabel and my family. So again, thank you very much for this extraordinary award, and it's a great honor.
Thanks very much, Dr. Fleming, for joining us today. I know everybody's so busy with their work and doing such great work, and congratulations again on your award. I would now like to welcome Dr. Mike McGilvery, class of 2018, and past president of Maritime Resident Doctors, to introduce the recipients of the Resident Leadership Awards. These awards recognize the important and significant contribution of our resident doctors. Mike.
Thanks very much, Dr. O'Brien, and really humbling to see all the great award winners thus far today. And I'm equally, if not more, humbled by a couple of my colleagues who I'll call upon in a minute to win the second annual Resident Leadership Awards from the Dalhousie Medical Alumni Association, one from family medicine and one from a Royal College specialty. Really like to commend the DMAA board for putting this award forward a couple of years ago. We've had unbelievable recipients thus far, and looking forward to seeing what those recipients do as part of the Dalhousie community going forward. First, please let me introduce Dr. Colin Boyd. He is a current staff emergency physician here in Halifax and a member of the class of 2018 at DalMed. Over the last 3 years, Colin has done his family medicine residency here at Dalhousie, with the last year being a +1 in emergency medicine. Throughout his residency, Colin has shown exceptional leadership abilities, advocating for both fellow residents and patients. Through his work on the Resident Doctors of Canada National Resident Survey Project Team, residents across the country were able to share their experience on the educational and wellness aspects of training at the local, regional, and national level. In addition, at the local level, Colin has served on the board of directors for the Nova Scotia College of Family Physicians, advocating for resident issues and promoting the highest quality of healthcare in Nova Scotia. He was also a member of the Developmental Disabilities Program Committee for the College of Family Physicians of Canada, advocating for compassionate care for patients with developmental disabilities. Colin has also been quite active in research and medical learner education throughout his residency, publishing 2 papers and presenting at a number of conferences. He was consistently available to medical students for ad hoc and more formalized teaching throughout his training. Coming from one of his letters of reference, I'll just read from one of those. Colin is a keen, hardworking, and committed to providing the highest level of care possible to his patients, all while raising 2 beautiful children with his wife. As someone fortunate enough to count Dr. Boyd as both a co-worker and a friend, I am consistently amazed at his ability to balance being a leader in so many different facets of life. Colin is a true role model for his peers, and we're certainly lucky to have him practice here in Nova Scotia. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Colin Boyd, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks very much to everybody. Thanks for the award. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Dr. O'Brien, Dr. Anderson, everybody for hosting this. That's very flattering to hear, and it's it is a bit of a cliche. I know it sounds like a cliche coming out of my mouth, but I do. It is an honor to win the award. I wasn't expecting it. When I went through the process of being interviewed, and when I read through my quotes from the interview after, I realized it struck home that it really was nice. It really was kind of a boost for me. I think about how every day in day-to-day practice, there's lots of fulfilling moments, lots of really rewarding moments. They sometimes get mixed up in all the other stresses and challenges of clinical practice. So to have an award for kind of the bigger picture of practicing medicine is special to me and is meaningful. I am proud. I wanted to say in particular, I'm proud to win this as a family medicine resident. Like Dr. Fleming said, I had a great experience in my family medicine residency at Dal, and then I went through the enhanced skills program, and now I'm, like Mike said, an emergency physician here in Dartmouth with a shift that starts in 5 minutes. So I apologize if I have to run out. And it's funny, you go through the family medicine residency and then the emerge residency, and then right now I work in the emergency departments. But to me, it's all about being a generalist. It's about kind of being the first point of contact for patients. really just trying to manage whatever comes through the door. And something that I take seriously is kind of really respecting your specialist colleagues and trying to have a good working relationship, a good back and forth relationship. I think that's really important. It's something I want to be good at over the course of my career. And when Mike lists all my leadership things in order, it sounds like a lot, but I didn't think of myself as probably like a lot of positions as a leader day to day, but I hope that I can lead by example. I hope that when I think of myself in terms of leadership, it's more about I'm trying to be reliable, I'm trying to be willing to help out, try to set a good example for colleagues, and now I guess going forward for learners and kind of more junior team members like myself. To lead by example and always be there clinically and for the patients. So thank you all again for the award. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I got my beautiful gift yesterday as well, my vase. It's up on my mantle. I'll have it there for a long, long time. I really appreciate it. So thanks again.
Well done, Colin. Very well deserved. And obviously, as everybody can see, probably one of the more humble guys on the planet. And good luck saving lives tonight. I'm not on call for Durham, so feel free to call us anytime. And congratulations again. Equally humble, and I'm expecting very similar humble thoughts coming from this next award winner, Dr. Marissa Leblanc, who's a PGY 5 in psychiatry at Dalhousie, currently and a member of the class of 2017. I'll start by reading a quote from the letter that her program director had written for her on her behalf for this award. Marissa has always cared deeply about her colleagues and their work environment, which I believe is one of the drivers behind her success as a leader. And then just expanding upon that, Marissa has been a strong advocate for residents throughout her training, spending countless hours on various boards and subcommittees of the Maritime Resident Doctors and Resident Doctors of Canada. And on the former, she sat 4 years serving as secretary on the executive for 2 years. Her biggest impact from a residency leadership perspective has come during her time as chief resident for the psychiatry program, spearheading a new senior resident to junior resident mentorship program, enhancing resident wellness, and creating a team-first culture in the psychiatry program. Marissa is also described by her peers and her program director as a constantly present mentor, role model, and teacher for residents and medical students. Also holding a PhD from a life before medicine, Marissa has put these skills to active use, pursuing interests in genetic counseling and the prevention of mental health consequences of cannabis use, publishing and presenting on this topic. Finally, Marissa's newest, most exciting, and most sleep-depriving role is her role as mom to her 5-month-old girl, Elise, who is joining her today. What a stunner. I've heard rumor your Superman or Superwoman cape is arriving in the mail next week. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Marissa Leblanc, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you. Being on maternity leave, this feels very special to receive this award, which really highlights leadership, advocacy, and improvement for the future for people like this little one, which has really changed my life in the last 5 months. So thank you. Thanks to the Alumni Association for this recognition, for this award. I feel very privileged to be honored in this way with all the other very talented people being recognized today. I've always been interested in leadership, and I've been so fortunate to have been supported by people around me to take on these new projects over the years, especially throughout medical school and residency. More recently, as Mike mentioned, I am in the Department of Psychiatry, and they've really allowed me to follow some of my dreams and ideas and take on new projects, including this mentorship program. And I feel very grateful for them towards them to really allow me to develop these new projects. I also really want to thank Maritime Resident Doctors, who has always allowed for new opportunities for resident advocacy and development in leadership. I think they have really allowed me to continue to grow and develop as a resident and build on these interests of mine. I also have to thank my family, of course, most importantly, my amazing husband, Leo. The last 5 months have been quite a change in our life, but he is also was a resident here at Dalhousie, and he's currently a fellow in pain medicine. And he's always supported me on all my projects, and he pushes me to be a better person every day. So I wouldn't be where I am without him and sweet little Elise. So thank you everyone for the support. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations, and thanks for bringing your little one along. Maybe she'll be a future Dal alumnus at some point.
You never know.
You never know. Before we close, I would like to thank Peggy Layton. I think she was on the call. Peggy chaired the awards committee, and I just wanted to thank her so much for the hard work she did in choosing all our well-deserved award recipients, because it's been a real pleasure to meet everybody today. And I'm really hoping that maybe next year we may have the opportunity to meet in person. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Congratulations again to all the well-deserving award winners. I look forward to seeing you when we can. And hopefully we'll be able to safely come together for the DalMed Gala, as Dr. Anderson mentioned, on March 26, 2022. Please watch your inboxes for more information on tickets and hotel accommodations for those of you coming for away in the coming weeks. And in the meantime, I wish you all a safe and joyous holiday season as we get into time coming towards the Christmas and the New Year. So thank you to everybody, and I wish you all a good night. And thanks for your attention.